Guys, welcome back for another video. Today, new bow build. We got the new Mathews ARC 34 in the green ambush. First impressions, this thing's really light. I did shoot it at the shop when I was buying it. And it's so smooth, it's so light. I've been previously shooting a Mathews B3X 33, and I can already tell just from the maybe 20 shots I did at the shop how good this thing actually is. Can't wait to get it set up. We're gonna hop into this build now. Gonna be skipping a few steps on this thing because we already had done at the shop. First things first, we got the new integrated Ultra-X MX2. Had the shop put it on because we were test shooting it beforehand. So they threw it on, threw it in, timed it for me. The impressions though, off of this too, I like that everything's already built in on this. So all your padding is on it compared to the old version where you had to put your felt on that actual rest. So it's definitely a nice change. You don't have to deal with the felt, because I always had problems with the felt. I've had to glue it down. It doesn't stay on, especially in weather. And then we got simple D-loop tied in and a peep sight already in. I am going to be changing the strings out on this. Right now, we just have the stock Mathews strings. We got a set of strings coming from America's Best. So when we actually get those in, we'll do another video changing out the strings, putting everything back on. But for now, we're going to keep it with what it's at. The sight that we're going to be using for this year is the B3 exact lengths. I've never shot a B3 sight before, so it's going to be a whole new thing to me. We have a black gold on the V3X. It's the Hunter 3-pin adjustable. On the Hoyt, we've had a 3-pin adjustable from Hoyt, whatever that one was. But decided to try something new. When you get it, it comes in a box like that, and then you get a nice carrying case. When you open it up, nice foam padded. Comes in pieces, so we got to figure out how to put this together. But from what I've seen, very nice. We have our adjustments. I don't know how I'm going to like how short it is, but we're going to give it a try. We might be able to eventually get a longer bridge lock from it. Your scope housing. It's got a blue level in there. We don't know how we're going to like that either. That's something new. I've never seen a blue one. I got 3-pin horizontal. That's where I've been shooting. That's what I like. That way I can have 20, 30, 40 set up on my bow without having to make adjustments. This is your scope housing. It just clips on the end. Spot for the light. There are another model that you can get, a rechargeable one. That's a little bit different. It's all integrated. Light, charger, some metal sight tapes. That's one thing that I've noticed too, is we got metal sight tapes on here. So it'll be something different. Hopefully a lot more sturdier than when we have the regular paper ones, laminated ones. More adjustments that we got to put on. Random screw. We'll have to figure out where that goes. Goes something. You lift it up, you got instructions, what to do. You also have more dial tapes. So you have your metal one, and then you're also going to have one on the actual dial itself. So it'll be nice having both. This is the light part that screws on top. This is rechargeable too, the USB-C, so that's nice. I don't know if I'm going to keep this housing on or if I'll eventually get the other one. I've had bad luck with this channel light between putting my bow in my pack and up and down in the tree stand. I broke this off my Hoyt and I had to glue it back on. So we'll use it for now. We'll see how it goes. Putting this together, looks like we take off this plate. Don't lose your little washers. So you got 2 screws that come out there. We got our up and down. See if we can put this on. Crank that on. The screw that I was talking about looks like it comes for the scope housing. On here you can see the little hole. Kinda, I don't know how the lighting is, but there's a little hole. And then we also have a little square area. So that square area, wherever it went, is going to kind of slide into that spot. Then there's a little hole on the side so you can get your Allen in to tighten it up. And that's what it looks like. Nice white housing. Pretty sure you can order different colors from B3 to get this housing change. You got this magnetic plate that goes on top, sits on it like that, and then your light just screws right in. With a little O-ring. Light that screws right in. with different models, different modes of adjustment when you turn it on. So you get different brightness settings. Pretty sweet, especially when you get those first light mornings or last light evenings when you need to be able to actually see your pins. I ran into that problem. I still have shooting light, but I can't see my pins, so it'd be nice to be able to turn these on. And then Mathews bridge lock, pretty sweet setup. You got your spot just to slide this right in. It's gonna sit like that. You'll have your screw right up top. Grab the right size Allen. And then on here too, before I put this in, there's a little indent right at that white line where your bridge lock screw is gonna go in and hold it. You can kind of feel it when you're putting it in. But that little detent just goes like that, and then your sights on. Sights on. I'm gonna get your bow level. If your sight's not level, then you're gonna run into a problem. So let's throw a level on the string here. Throw no level on the front. Bow is leveled right there. So our bow's leveled, but our sight is definitely not leveled. You can see the bubble all the way to the left over there. So that's what we need to fix now. To get this B3 sight leveled, once your bow is leveled, everything looks good. You got those two bolts that are on the to hook up your windage housing. You'll loosen those till you get your bubble level that's on the sight in the middle. It's pretty easy. One thing to note too when you're setting this up, it's gonna be kinda tough until you get everything situated, but your first, second, and third access. So your first was getting that level. Your third is right here on this sight. So you'd loosen these. Just make sure it's straight with the bow. If you put an arrow in, you can do it that way and just get it really close. Or if you have a jig for it, you can do it that way. You'll also want to take these two screws, make sure that your whole housing's level too. So you can do that, put a level up on the side, or if you have something to clamp on, you can test it that way. But yeah, just making sure that everything is level. I mean, you're gonna have to play with it over and over until you actually get it to get level. It can be a final step once you're done actually setting up the bow too, before you go to the paper tuning process. New day, because you know shipping doesn't all happen the same. But next step up on the build is we will be throwing Mathews low pro detachable quiver on. I haven't ran a detachable quiver in a few years. I decided I would this year, so we'll see how it goes. On my B3X, I have the Mathews two-piece quiver. I like that, but I also want to be able to take it off, and that kind of stinks for it. So we're going detachable this time. Got this to match in the green ambush. So let's get this thing built. So what you're going to want to do, see if we can do this without messing up. You want this top one. It's got kind of a circle cut out in it. That's going to go up here in this top hole. It's kind of like a circle, triangle little piece. So you'll take one of the bolts that comes with it. And then take that piece. It'll kind of sit at an angle a little bit. You'll feel it like fall into the groove. But that is how you want it. So I'm not going to snug it up fully yet. I'm just going to leave it like that and move on to the bottom piece. For this other one, it's kind of got a channel in it. You'll see a little indent too in the middle. You want that indent opening towards the strings, and then there's a little stop at the other end. You want that towards the front of the bow. Down here, you have another one of those little circle triangle things with a hole above the top. On the back, you have like a little safety catch right there. So that one's going to go in and fit right in on that side right there. Take your other bolt, go through the back of the riser. Give them both a snug now, and then with that, your top just fits right in. On the bottom of your quiver, there's a little snap, so you'll flip that up. That's how you're gonna attach and detach it. Slide this top screw that's on there, a little circle one, into the top. Slide this bottom one down there, snap your little snap ring, and quiver is on. Another little thing that we're going to be adding on to this, we'll throw it on now just to show you, but we're going to be putting on some Engage ARC limb legs. These are the new limb legs for the ARC. When you get them, they'll probably come like this, folded. Just slide it in like that. And then these front pieces will just twist into place, and then there are your limb legs. With these new limb legs that they got, you can shoot with these on, so you can just leave them on. Makes it nice and easy. Shoot. Put your bow down. There it is, standing up on its own. So that is a new plus. They go into the limb pocket themselves instead of onto the limbs, so that helps out with how it's able to shoot with them on. So excited to use these, especially for out back. It would be nice to be able to just put my bow down without having to lay it down. Continuing on with our build, new day once again. UPS finally decided to drop off most of our stuff. We got the stabilizers in. The big thing that we're missing, that was supposedly on that truck, from what I could see on the map, was our new set of strings. So, looks like we got screwed on that. But, yeah. So, our tentative plan is we're going to be running a 15-inch angled on the front in green ambush, and then a 10-inch on the back for the back bar. The back bar might have to change, the front might have to change. We're gonna have to see. So when you open these up, here's your little screw knob, comes with it. These angled ones are something new. I didn't even get this out, Jesus. Yeah, so these angled ones are new for this year. Like many of us have done in the past, you would have to buy an angled adapter. This on the B3X. So you'd have the angled adapter that would screw into the quick disconnect for the Mathews stabilizers. But now, with the bridge lock, they've built it right in that little notch. So it's basically take it, put it in the bridge lock, and then it just sits right down. It's 7 degrees, so take our little screw, screw it in the side here. It's just gonna lock in our front stabilizer. And then flip it around. We got the integrated bridge lock V-bar for the back. You don't have to use bridge lock. You can go conventional if you don't want to spend the money on the Mathews ones, or you like a different brand better. It's totally up to you. This is my first time with bridge lock stabilizers, so give it a shot. Gonna see how I like it. In the bottom of your styrofoam, you got a bolt, a washer, a little plug, and your big easy disconnect. So pretty simple. You're gonna take your bridge lock, slide in the side there, your 3-prong triangle lock in. So you're gonna screw that in like that. If you want to make your adjustments, if you have a degree that you like to run, it's pretty simple. You've got, let's find the right size here. You get an Allen right on top. There is a line on the side with your degrees, and then there's another one in the back for your degrees. I ran 3 and 3 on the last one, so we're gonna start off there. We might have to adjust a little bit, but 3 there, 3 there. Try and hold it in place without moving it too much. Crank that down. Take whatever size bar you're running for the back. Like I said, it's all preference on weight and balance. So right now, we're starting off with a 10-inch. This is just a 10-inch straight bar. We might end up changing it. Who knows? I recommend keeping your extra little triangle lock and the bolt and the washer that comes with your extra stabilizer, and then comes with the integrated V-rest. That way you have them. You never know if you're going to want to change stabilizers. So if you want to change stabilizers to a different brand, you might end up needing this bolt. So keep that, and then if you ever lose one of these, you might end up needing it. One thing we can do while we wait for these strings is we can figure out our sight tape a little bit. If you have a chronograph, you can do it that way. Or there's plenty of estimators online that you can use. I have a Garmin 0C1, so I did shoot rough shots inside. We're going to have to fully test it outside. But with a 250 grain arrow, that's what I have made up that I plan on shooting for this year. We were at 283.5 feet per second average. I took that data along with some other stuff, put in precision cut archery, and got a rough estimate for a sight tape. There's just going to be something to start us out on, and we can go from there. So I have it out to 120 yards. I just threw it on there. The closest one that I could find for this B3 lynx was the number 5 for my bow. So we're going to put that on and we're going to start from there. We'll have to fine tune everything. Once we actually get it sighted in, then we can really mark everything out and get it as precise as possible. You know, from 20 to 40 yards, not a big deal if you're off a little bit, but if you're taking those longer shots, 80 yards plus, if you shoot TAC events or 3D events, you kind of need that to be right, because your arrow drop is a lot bigger at that distance. So we'll show you the easy way to change these out on here. So on this sight, you can either throw a sight tape on the wheel on the other side, or you can use the metal one that's on there. If you use the metal one, there's 2 little keeper bolts that are there. So we'll loosen those, and then we'll slide that old one out, slide the new one in place, in a rough place, just to get us going. So you just slide that out. Take your new one, slide it up in. There's kind of a groove for it. Find a rough spot. Like I said, this is all going to be just for context for now, till we can get it sighted in. So put that on, snug them up. What you can also do too is, if you shoot it, throw blank tape on there or on your wheel, mark your 20, mark your 40, mark your 60, something like that as you're shooting in, you're sighting it in, so that way you know. Take that off and then you can verify it more. So like I said, we're just throwing this on for now to get it somewhat set up, so that way we can attempt to sight it in. Well, we finally got our new strings in for the ARC build after weeks of waiting. Apparently UPS can't do their jobs. We get second day air and it comes a week and a half late. You know, kind of a struggle. For this build, we're gonna go with some strings from America's Best. I've never used them before. I have gas strings on my V3X. So switching it up a little bit. We got some orange and an orange and black twist. This is the launch series. So give them a shot, see how they do. Get this thing in the bow press so we can get these things put on though. After a few trials and tribulations, got a new string on. Definitely like the orange, something different. Got purple on the B3X. So I've decided to change it up a little bit. Now we gotta do D-loop, peep, set all that stuff, and check the time, and we'll be good. Well, finished up the build. New strings on. Just gotta time it, paper tune it a little bit, and that's all we got left. We put Hamskate DC Pete on there, so we gotta play with that a little bit. Tighten the D loop. You have to break in the strings and then readjust everything. But yeah, that's it for the Mathews ARC 34 build. Can't wait to really put this thing to use now. Play around with it. See how it goes.